World Alternative Media here, and I am live in Venice, Italy. Now, I realize a lot of you are in bed. It is mid-afternoon, early evening here in Venice, and I figured it would be a good time to go live and talk to a few people before I got any more delirious than I am, as the humidity has been somewhere between 90 and 95% here, and it's enough to kill a person, but nonetheless, we are here in beautiful, but are we freezing? Let's get this internet working here. Oh, here we go. The internet here has actually been faster than any place I've ever seen. I don't know why it's going down as I go live. I uploaded a 10 gigabyte video earlier in 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes, actually. So I'm surprised that there's any issue at all. I'm trying to get in a good area here to do this. Let me know if you're having any issues. Let me actually try a bit more over here. Maybe this is a bit better. Okay, thanks, Leanne. I'm on the stairs now of a 14th century church. Let me know if there's any issues. I see 2 likes and 27 people watching out of 131,000 people. So make sure to press that like button. Maybe some people will actually see it, and YouTube won't hide me from everyone. Is there still any lag issue? Let me know. Gotta love it. I've recently been banned from YouTube or from Facebook, by the way. I'm not allowed to post my videos on Facebook anymore. Other people can. I can no longer share them because apparently sharing Wham videos to the Wham page is spam. And they give me no recourse to dispute it. So I am officially banned from posting to Facebook. So I've asked people to go on Twitter and tweet YouTube, or not YouTube, tweet Facebook, and tell them what they think about it. The fact that I'm not allowed to reach my own followers that have asked to be reached. Useful emptiness says no lag, tiny bit of bad sync, and a tiny bit of robotic. Who needs Facebook anywhere, says Claire. I agree. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm literally next to the fastest internet I've ever seen. Like I said earlier, I uploaded a 10 gigabyte video in less than 2 minutes. I posted it and it just uploaded 100% in moments. I've never seen anything quite like it. It takes usually about 3 hours to do the same thing in a place like Las Vegas. I got a friend here. Lots of pigeons around. Oh, there we go. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, you tend to get a little bit delirious from the humidity here. Well, it is cloudy finally. I was dealing with about 90 to 95% humidity here, and it has caused me to not feel the greatest I felt, but I'm trying to keep up. I might as well be drunk at this point. It is midday in Venice here. I'm waiting for some questions. Make sure to send in your questions so I can answer them, so I got something to talk about here. And super chat, obviously, go to the top. All I'm seeing on my post here is, or on my video here, is just a lagging screen, a circle going around. So hopefully you guys can see it. What do you mean I can't grow a beard? I actually damaged my skin using a buzzer for years, and it plucked out hairs. So where I used to be able to grow a beard, I can't anymore. Kind of sucks. But yeah, anyway, that's one comment that I'm seeing. let me know what's going on. We do have a report going up soon with Stephen Kendall on the British economy and how it ties into the global economy. So stay tuned for that. Lessa Lanyot says, when is a documentary from Mauritania coming? It's been out for about half a month now. It's on our channel. YouTube's just not letting people see it. The video about us going to Mauritania got 100,000 views. The video of us in Mauritania got 62,000 views. Tells you a bit of something there. I got one comment. Claire Brooks says, have you heard anything about Epstein? Yes, so I do have a connection with somebody at the prison who confirmed that there are cameras looking at every single cell in that wing, and that it would have had to have been a camera malfunction for them to not have video of what happened to Epstein. So I'll wait patiently for that. Hopefully they don't deep fake it, but I think we can still probably tell such a thing. We're not that far ahead yet with the deep faking fake vid. If you haven't noticed, I'm sweating my face off, and that's because, again, it's about 95% humidity here right now. Bobby8270 says, hi Josh, Deutsche Bank down 6%. Any view on that? Yeah, well, I mean, and they're going to be far further down than that in the near future. Deutsche Bank has a thing about utilizing debt to grow, but it also is their downfall because they've been falling like a rock since the recession that never ended. Deutsche Bank has a couple years at the most left, but I can't see them really surviving more than 2 years. It's crazy. Josh is a ladies' man, says 3-star Murr. Alrighty then. Samantha Williams says, you're so handsome. Well, thank you very much. I gotta start sweating and feeling like death in the 95% humidity more often, obviously. Did they remove your video? Says Camel Wars. Not that I know of. They have removed it from the past and not even notified me about it. The Swedish crown is dropping as well. I'll have to look into that. Epstein is probably watching this stream. So, is it possible that Epstein is still alive? Yeah, I guess it is very possible. But I just need to see the evidence before I'm going to start saying this is what happened, because you just don't know otherwise. I'm not going to jump to any conclusion. From 80% to 20% in the 8 minutes that I've been online, so that's nice. Let's see. We got some comments coming in. I'm not seeing all the comments, I'm sure. The March Hair says, Josh, is it true you're a sexy beast? You'll have to ask my girlfriend. Trudeau's hedonism society is catching like wildfire. Well, I mean, yeah, they're going to push culture in that general direction and confuse people as well, but that's not the main story to be had. They're doing that on purpose to cause people to clash with each other. The true story is that they are pushing everyone into dependence and debt and making debt slaves out of everyone and causing people to demand more government to solve the problems of government. I think that is the main story to be had there that no one's talking about, unfortunately. Okay, so there is seriously so much tourism here in Venice. That's the one down. Right, I walked around in the dark, middle of the night, by myself. There's no one around, and it was incredibly amazing to witness Venice without anyone in the streets. I went to San Marco Square by myself. It was empty. I've never seen the place empty. In about 1,000 years, it has constantly been filled with countless people. So it was super interesting to see that. I posted it to my Facebook story. For those, we are on float.app, flote.app. I'm saying that right now because I have no idea how much longer we're going to be on YouTube because they're shutting us down and they banned me from posting my own videos to Facebook, saying it's spam to post WHAM videos to the WHAM page. And they don't give me any recourse to debate it. So we're basically done there. Facebook has officially banned WHAM from posting videos. So we're trying to move over to as many different platforms as possible. I think I'm going to go inside my hotel. Maybe I'll have better internet. I just have this circle spinning in the middle of my screen, which is really frustrating. So just give me one moment, guys. Need to plug in as well. Oh, I thought it would have looked nice to be outside and show what it looks like outside, but so be it. This is how it's got to be. Oh, so sweaty. So let me just get my charger. Yeah, it's great when you see the battery at 70% and it falls to 10% in 10 minutes. Anyway, send in your questions, guys. I want to see what you guys have to say and what you think. I need them, or else I'm just babbling on for no reason. Not Fox Quite says not stop, just make more cool videos and news. I like your info, what you put up. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we're doing our best to back ourselves up in as many ways as we can. I'm gonna plug in here and I guess sit on my bed. What else can I do? Apparently, YouTube decides to drain my... I don't know how that even happens. How do you drain your battery that much in such a short period of time? How do you go from like 70% to 10% in like 10, 11 minutes? All right. Okay, here I am. Still got a circle going on my screen that is incredibly distracting, but nonetheless, let's take some questions. Liza Jean Williams says, just tuned in, what are you doing in Italy? So I'm doing multiple things. I promised myself that I would spend at least a couple days relaxing over the next couple months because it's been nonstop 18 hours a day, and the harder I work, the more they crack down on me. And it's been really depressing and really hard to keep up with. But another thing is that there's so much happening in Europe right now, including elections in Italy and including the banking crisis worldwide. It's really important to see things from the ground as well as the cultures from the ground, see how things really are compared to what the news is telling us they're like, because it's easy to get American or Canadian news telling you that this is happening in Italy or in France or whatever, and then to see it on the ground yourself and see what's actually happening. So we went from Milano to Verona to Venice and then Florence and Rome, and we'll be going to Seville and Malaga and Barcelona and Madrid and Paris. Then I'm going back to speak at Anarchadelphia 2019, and then heading from Anarchadelphia to let me just close this door. I just realized it was still open. Then from Anarchadelphia, which you could use promo code WAM for, by the way, you could save 5% on your tickets. But we're going from Anarchadelphia to Turkey to cover stories around Turkey. So, be interesting. A note just came up on my screen that said this function may not be applicable, whatever that means. You guys can still see me? I don't know what's going on. There's so many problems lately with everything, technology-wise. Evan F says, amazing, bro. Appreciate it. I would have liked to walk around Venice more, but my phone is giving me all these problems right now. And it's always only when I'm on YouTube live streaming that problems come up. Otherwise, I can live on a 10% battery for like 5 hours, and yet I go on YouTube with a 70% battery and it drains to 10% in 10 minutes. It's so frustrating. Like I'm in Venice and here I am in my hotel room instead of doing a video next to waterways and bridges. Very frustrating. And the Stock Sage says YouTube is actively censoring everything. Absolutely. It's both sides of the political spectrum. There's no free speech left. No, it's true. It's not just the right. The right was the first group that they really started censoring. But now it's bigger than that. I mean, they're actively censoring everything from gun rights videos to gay rights videos. It's gotten to the point where what they're doing is they're trying to make everyone feel like they're the victim and cause them to clash against each other. I think that's one of the main objectives here. The Stock Sage says, I went to Float because of you, and I've been telling everyone I know about it. That's great. Yeah, float.app, flote.app. We are on Float now, and I'm really excited about that social media network. They're trying to replace Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon all at the same time. And I think that they've got a great future ahead of them. They've barely rolled it out yet. They're just in beta. Morningstar says, I wish I could do what you do. I loved the documentary you did on Atlantis. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're one person. A lot of people are not too happy about the documentary because people want to create their own reality and say, this is what I expected to see and what I wanted to see, so therefore it's what I should have seen. And it's really frustrating when you risk your life and spend like $10,000, go into massive amounts of debt to bring this to people for free, and then people complain and complain like, we wanted this to happen. Well, I can't, create or manifest a new reality for you, or I'd be lying, or just be nonsense. I don't have magic powers. And then on top of that, it's like people demanded, hundreds, if not thousands of people demanded I got the documentary up immediately. With 3 days after I finished filming 30 hours of footage for the documentary, people demanded, give me the film now, do it now, or else you're a scam artist. I'm like, dude, I could sell this money or this video or documentary for money, and I'm giving it to people for free, and people were flipping out on me saying I was a scam artist. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll rush it up. So I rushed it while helping host an event in Vegas, Anarcho Vegas, and doing speeches and doing other interviews and a video, 1 to 5 videos a day, every day. And people demanded. So I'm like, fine. I rushed the documentary up, and then people were like, why didn't you edit it better? Why is it so long? Why didn't you put music behind it? And I'm like, because like I'm having thousands of people demand I rush it up, and I'm like, fine, I'll do that. And then people are complaining that I rush it up. It's like I can't win. So yeah, it was very frustrating. I made $400 back of the $10,000 I went into debt making that film. So the fact that I have a whole bunch of people that are sitting in their armchair demanding things for free from me, it's a very frustrating thing, and it's why more people don't do this. Luckily, I got a thick enough skin from years of being yelled at and screamed at by trolls that it's fine. I'm going back, and I'll be reporting on it more in the future. Just very frustrating. People wonder why people can't have nice things. It's because of people like that. And then people are like, oh, you're so unprofessional for replying to these people. And it's like, they're screaming at me for for going $10,000 into debt and risking my life in a third world Al-Qaeda red zone country to bring them free content. Like, imagine complaining about that. Being in Mauritania, I saw people living in shacks that had absolutely nothing, no air conditioning in the Sahara Desert where it was hitting 130, 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And they had nothing. And they were the happiest people I ever met. And then I come back and all these people are demanding better, more, in tune with their reality, free content. And that if not, you're an idiot, and I demand more, slamming their fists on the table. And it's like, this is what's wrong with the first world, Anyway, Useful Emptiness says the documentary is fine. Sad thing you didn't get more time at the site. Yeah, well, that was another thing that some people are complaining I didn't spend more time at the site. Well, I was already $10,000 into debt, and I had no time left. I had no money left. And I was dead broke, and I had no choice but to leave. And people were like, well, bring more money next time. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just snap my fingers and make money appear. Like, it's very frustrating. Anyway, it's the way it goes. When you provide free content to people, while a lot of people appreciate it, and I really appreciate those people and all the viewers, it's a dream come true to have all these amazing viewers watching what I do. At the same time, you also lack respect. A lot of people don't respect you because you're giving them free content, and they demand more. It's the same thing as like feeding bears with welfare systems throughout countries around the world. People just demand more all the time, and it's a sad reality. By the way, for those just tuning in, I'm in Venice, Italy. I was outside around the nice canals and bridges, and then my phone decided that even though the internet's 100% awesome and we have an average of 15 megabyte per second upload speed, um, that the internet was going to keep glitching out and it wasn't going to let me film outside, and my battery power dropped from 70% to 10% in 10 minutes. So, yeah. That is why I'm inside of a hotel room, even though I'm in Venice, Italy. Anyway, press like on this video, by the way, if you haven't already. It's what allows us to be seen. For those just tuning in, we were banned from Facebook from sharing our videos on Facebook as it constitutes spam, and we're not able to actually debate that. They're not allowing us to dispute it on Facebook. Apparently, talking or posting videos on the WAM page, WAM videos on the WAM page, means spam, and therefore we are banned. I can post other things, and other people can post our videos. Just WAM can't post WAM videos on the WAM page or into the WAM group or onto my personal profile page on Facebook. So it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's more of Facebook deciding what we can and cannot see, and talking to you like children, like you cannot make up your own minds on what you want to watch. Peter Larson says, love your contribution. Feel bad for not contributing money yet, but I will keep giving you my views and time. I appreciate that. You know, all that it takes to change the world is just press that like button, share the video. These kinds of things make it possible for independent media to flourish, as YouTube doesn't show most people. You can see there's 83 people watching right now, 82 now. 82 people watching right now out of 131,000 people subscribe to WAM. Does that make sense to anybody? Come on. I see channels that have 3,000 subscribers getting more viewers on their live streams than this. So, yeah, I mean, it's a scam. It's a huge scam. YouTube is screwing everyone. What are we going to do? Well, we got to look towards the new alternatives. And I really like Float, and I'm on BitChute as well, BITCHUTE. I'm there as World Alternative Media, so if you're interested, make sure to check that out. The Stock Sage says, I thought the moment they created their marketplace, everything else suffered. Yeah, Laura, Facebook is trash, disable it. I only post there to reach people, though they're making it more and more impossible all the time. Useful Emptiness says, will the bad guys crash Italy to get the gold reserves? It's hard to say. There's a really strange thing happening right now in Italy, which is that we're watching the elections, flash election happen, and it's a battle between what many claim is fascism versus what many claim is communism, and it's just ridiculous, and it's very reminiscent of what we see in other countries around the world, every country in the world. It's crazy and ridiculous, and we need to see that it's just bread and circuses for the masses, getting people to bend over and bow down to the state. Like, oh, maybe this guy's terrible, maybe another guy will change that. No, you'll change that. Stop depending on the state. It's crazy. And it's, again, that psychological warfare we see so often. Yvonne Nutter sent 20 euros. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Is that euros or pounds? I can't see. The text is really small for me. Either way, I really appreciate that. That makes a huge difference. And those and those super chats really make it possible for us to pounds. All right, make it possible for us to flourish as a media, as YouTube has essentially, well, they demonetize us for the most part, and then they don't allow us to be seen. So they basically cut off our viewership. The notifications don't go through to most people, and as you see, 83 people are watching out of 131,000 subscribers. Doesn't make much sense. Anyway, I got, and I really appreciate those super chats are what's keeping us going right now, and it literally is most of what we make now as a channel. My dad is commenting, fascist book is trying to shut down the truth. Stay strong. I'll do my best. Either way, I'm not going to stop. It's just very frustrating, and They're trying to go after morale and try to make people self-censor and make people not want to do this anymore. And it's worked for a lot of people, but the worst thing you could be is one, in fear or paranoid, and two, lack ambition. That's what they're going after most. Psychological warfare. You just gotta reject it. Lightning Rod is saying something. Let me check. Josh, do you understand how many live streams there are right now? Yeah, there's other live streams. Stop feeding the fossil fuel industry. Okay. So are you wearing a shirt? Do you have glasses, possibly? Do you drive a car? And even if it's an electric car, do you know what the car is made out of? Do you paint your house? Do you have paint on your walls? Do you, let's see, drink anything out of plastic? Do you get anything with ink on it? Do you have, I don't know, any form of colored metal? Do you have a table that isn't wood? Do you have, well, yes, this person, do you use AC or a refrigerator? Then you're fueling the fossil fuel industry. Lightning rod, I do all those things, Josh, because those are the only options given. Okay, so do I have another option for being on YouTube somehow fueling the fossil fuel industry? You're not making a whole lot of sense. So I would request that you rethink this argument a little bit. Lightning Rod, if you knew how I lived, you would appreciate the choices I make. Okay. What does that have to do with me being on YouTube? I'm not seeing your point here. Seems like you're pointing fingers at everyone but yourself in this case, with all due respect. The Stock Sage says, I used to own stock in the Canadian cannabis stocks, and then the government intervened and messed up the entire industry for the foreseeable future or foreseeable industry. Yeah, well, that's exactly what they've done. The whole thing about legalization is in Canada is that they banned something, they took away a right, and then they gave it back at a price, that price being extortion, and that price being regulation and taxes and monopolization of an industry by the hand of the state. Liza Jean Williams sent Canadian $4. Thank you so much for your dedication. Thank you, Liza Jean. I really appreciate that. Again, that makes a huge difference. All of these super chats seriously keep us alive and make it possible for us to do on the ground work, and especially, going to these sites. We're trying to study culture around the world, the news stories around the world, politics, poverty, etc. There's gypsies, by the way, everywhere in Venice, Italy, begging for cash. And they don't actually say anything, really. They just bend over on the ground with their head down with a cup out. Like they're bowing down with a cup. It's really sad. I did a video with Stephen Kindle today that I'll be releasing in the next day or so about homelessness and the British economy and how it ties into the global economy. So make sure to check that out. And again, press like on this video to keep us in the algo, or else we don't get seen. I really appreciate that. Again, those super chats keep us alive and make it possible to do any of this work in the first place. So thank you so much. Evan F. Bro, these people are just projecting. Yeah. Brittany Harris, why are you here, Lightning Rod? Well, Lightning Rod's on a lot of these posts. I don't think they mean anything negative, but the comments weren't making a whole lot of sense. So I'm just calling out the comments as they stand. Let's see. Oh, wow. Useful Emptiness sent SEK 100. I appreciate that so much. That's awesome. That means a lot. And it, again, helps us out huge. As I do study currencies around the world, I wish I knew more about what SEK was. I feel bad that I don't. There's so many currencies in the world, and I'm trying to... Singapore, the Stock Sage said. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's crazy. No one's ever sent me SEK currencies before. Swedish, Swedish kroner? Is that it? Okay, Sweden. Okay. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Again, it helps us out huge. Yeah, not Singapore. Yeah. Useful emptiness said SEK Swedish, weak crap. Well, isn't every currency out there right now? Every government currency anyway. Appreciate that. Means a lot and helps me out a lot. Yeah, the stock sage originally said, "Whoa, what currency is that?" Um, it means a lot though. Again, we're putting feet on the ground, and I'm willing to go to really dangerous places in crazy countries to report on crazy sites, including Iraq. I'm going to Turkey soon. I don't really find these to be dangerous countries, but most people do, and that's why they don't go. I will be going to Egypt, Stock Sage, uh, in the next year or so. I'm working on something for Lebanon and then Egypt. The thing is, I have to go to Lebanon and then go over water to Egypt somehow because I can't go over land because I'd have to go through Israel and there's some huge issues with crossing that border and possibly being banned from going back to Lebanon. And I really want to go to Lebanon. So, anyway, lightning rod, any idea about rapid climate change after having been to Mauritania? Yeah, the weather changes. It's been hot in Mauritania since at least 6000 BC. It was before that, before 6000 BC, but it was a jungle and then it suddenly became a desert in a very short amount of time. The greatest climate changes in all of history were around the era of the Younger Dryas period, as well as about a million years ago. So yeah, Lightning Rod says it is covered in ocean sand from the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, the whole area of the Sahara Desert, the sand is said to have come from the ocean originally. ZChris54 says you did a great job documenting that trip. I appreciate it. I'm glad that many people like it. It was rough for me because I was kind of put into between a rock and a hard place. 30 hours of footage and people were demanding I got it up immediately, so I had to rush the video up, and then people were mad that I rushed it up, so it was kind of a frustrating situation. So it is the way it is. Whatever, as obviously, yeah, it was the way it is. Whatever that means. I am slightly brain dead because I have been in crazy, crazy heat. I know Q Jeff Berwick saying, "Oh, the weather alternative media," and to him I say, "Oh, the dog vigilante, walking his dogs, talking all the time. Great, doing coffee enemas live on Facebook. That's what we all want to see, Jeff." But anyway, um, it's been like between 90 and 95% humidity in Venice. And it was crazy in Verona, Italy before that, and as well as Milan. And it's just like, it's the weather here is just killing me. It is making me stupid in the head. It's seriously giving me brain damage. So I gotta be a bit careful. I'm trying to not lose the skin on my face, which has happened before. I spent too much time in the sun once in San Diego at Libertopia and lost 2 layers of skin. Good times. I thought I scarred my face. I can't properly tan anymore because of it. The Stock Sage says, my gold is held offshore in a vault currently. I'm planning on taking physical delivery once I have a safe place to store it. Hey Josh, are you still unable to post any video on Float or on Facebook? I'm able to post videos on Float. I'm unable to post WAM videos on Facebook. Float is where I'm really starting to turn towards. Float and BitChute. I just wish that BitChute had a better monetization opportunity, because I can't just expect people to donate, crypto and stuff like that. I need to have an opportunity to put ads, because then you don't have to ask people to donate and you're able to actually get ad revenue. But the thing is, YouTube's shutting it down despite the people giving me the ad revenue, the ad agencies being totally fine with my content. And interestingly enough, often YouTube will ban a video from being advertised on, and they say it's not advertiser friendly. Yet, at the same time as that, and this is really interesting, they still show ads on the videos. They just take all the money for themselves and demonetize me. So is it advertiser friendly when they're putting ads on it and getting all the money for themselves? It is. It's blatant fraud, guys. And I know there's going to be a lot of people in the near future doing class action lawsuits over this, because they are really testing people at this point, to the point where they're ruining so many lives. Greg Timpson says sponsors. Yeah, I would love to get more sponsors on, but the problem is that we are dealing with shadow banning. They cut our audience down 80%. So sponsorships, we can't get much money out of it anymore, even though we are usually the top affiliate for most of these companies that we do sponsorship opportunities for. We and we always make it clear when we do that stuff to our viewer, by the way, to our viewers. But yeah, we have to work around the shadow banning, which is why I want people to send subject line yes, YES, to worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. World Alternative Media, all one word, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send subject line yes, and I will add you to our newsletter. We're trying to back up as much of the audience as possible while we still can. Let's see. I got some more stuff coming in here. AM83330 says, thank you for the reshot trip. You are Indiana Jones. You just need a hat and a bullwhip. I appreciate that. Though as Indiana Jones knew very well, you can whip at people all you want, but the gun always wins. I'm looking forward to doing more stuff like that. And that's where most of these donations are going to, is going on the ground to places as well as feeding myself. Because that's obviously important for sustaining life. But what we're trying to do is we need to fund investigations into different places around the world that people are afraid to go to. I'm in Italy right now. I'm not spending a cent of donation money on this, just to be clear. Not a cent of donation money is actually going towards this trip. This is completely on assignment. You don't have to worry about me spending donation money on vacations and stuff. And this isn't a vacation, but it's I took a couple days to enjoy myself in Venice. I did videos all the same. I did, I think, 4 videos, 5 with this. But over the 3-day time, this is my 3rd day in Venice, I think. And yeah, so I mean, I'm not spending any donation money on this. I want to be clear about that. I'm like talking about, super chats and stuff and donations while I'm sitting here in Venice, Italy. Has nothing to do with that. All that money goes towards feeding myself and going to dangerous sites and continuing to keep Wham propped up so that we can continue to function as a media, as YouTube cuts our audience down 80% and cuts our monetization down 95% overall since we first started monetizing. It's really bad, guys. Rika the Hopeful Voluntarist. Hello, Josh. Hello to you. Always good to see you. Leanne Thibodeau says, is China an emerging market to invest, or would it be smarter to invest in the U.S.? Sorry, I'm really new to this. I wouldn't invest in either. They're both devaluing their currencies extraordinarily fast. Yield curves, bonds are crashing. And I would say the best thing to do is to get out of that system entirely. This is just my opinion. This isn't advice per se for legal reasons. I must say that. But in my opinion, I would look at things like gold and silver as wealth insurance. It's not about investing. It's about insuring your wealth against a crisis as all fiat currencies eventually revert to zero, as well as cryptocurrencies that are fundamentally useful and blockchain infrastructure technology, and keyword, decentralized. They have to be decentralized. You have to do your own due diligence on that because most cryptocurrencies are terrible, but some are great. Liza Jean Williams says, World Alternative Media, what's your email? My email is worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send subject line yes to that email if you wish to join our newsletter. So that's worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Leanne says, thank you very much as well for sending the question. There's a lot to be said about that, and we try to explain at the end of all of our economics videos how to best get around that issue. Rob Sigurdson, okay, so my dad says, Lightning Rod is being very respectful. It's always okay to ask questions and to disagree. I appreciate any disagreements. I haven't seen them because we're getting a lot of comments coming in, so I'm not really seeing a lot of them. Purge. E-bang for money 2 weeks ago, ends up in Venice, Italy. Scammer. Hey, Purge, how about you perch yourself off a bridge or something? I'm just saying, it's my opinion, not advice. But again, it's not e-bagging to give people an opportunity to donate to a media that's putting out free content every day, sometimes 1 to 5 videos a day, and risking our lives going to places to bring people free content. Again, not a cent of donation money is spent on Venice. This is something that both was saved up for in a certain currency that may or may not have been lost in a boating accident. And on top of that, I'm on assignment here. I'm working on some stories on ancient civilizations, on the local politics and economics in this region. And I took a couple days as well, even though I posted, well, I've done 4 or 5 videos in the last 2.5 days since I've been here. I am taking some time to kind of enjoy Venice because I've been working 18 hours a day, all day, every day for, well, mostly years. With every now and then I get 2 days at the most where, maybe twice a year where I really enjoy myself. So people can complain and whine and blabber on all they want about how I'm a scammer, but also these are the same people that don't actually provide anything for the world and are pathetic wastes of life and spend all their time trolling people on videos, calling people e-beggars, meanwhile sitting on a probably government paycheck doing nothing with their life and just spreading misery. Those are the people I feel bad for, honestly, and I hope he gets the help he needs. And again, if he doesn't, there's always purging. His name is Purge, so he's always purging himself. Anyway, on to the next. Liza Jean Williams, keyboard losers don't travel. Yeah. And you have to see the rest of the world. I mean, it's actually more expensive in a lot of cases to stay in the same place than to travel. Look, I don't work an average wage job. So it's not that difficult to move around. What stops most people from traveling isn't even as much money as it is their job, because if they travel, they can't work. Myself, on the other hand, I can work while traveling. And I think that's an important point to make. And again, it costs more money to stay in the same place often than to move around. So Purge is your middle name, Shlomo. I'm not even sure what that means. But again, whatever, so be it. We got losers that always want to chime in and make themselves feel better about themselves because someone's actually saying their name for once. Anyway, Zoltan Bose says, it's not working hard competition. Ignore the trolls and enjoy life. Yeah, I always enjoy life. And one of the things I enjoy most is work, though sometimes you need to take a breather. Fred Koss says, nothing wrong with taking a break. Absolutely, I agree. And by the way, thanks again, Fred. I'll see you in Texas and Turkey. I'm looking forward to it. Scuba Dracula says, you shouldn't need to explain yourself, Josh. Trolls with troll, perhaps add some wrenches. I think that it's important that I do explain myself, though, because people think that they're like, oh, you're in Italy, oh, you're in this country and that country, you must be spending donation money on vacations. And if anyone sees how much content I post for free all the time, you could see that that's not the case. And obviously, again, if you're not working a wage job, it's not that difficult to travel. You're not actually losing much money. If not, you're actually breaking even on all of that. But with that said, I understand where people are coming from when you see that kind of stuff and it's not your world and it's not your mindset. It's not the way that you do things. You have to ask some questions and you ask, I mean, it's healthy to ask those. I used to wonder the same thing about Luke Rudowski of We Are Change. It's like, how is he traveling all over the place? And now I see why. He doesn't have a bushel of money. It's just that it's actually cheaper to move around than to stay in the same place. And when you don't work that wage job, you have the ability to move around without missing work. So that's a really important factor to factor in. But again, I'm very, very honored and very proud and happy and grateful to be in the situation I'm in, to be able to go to these places. But it doesn't mean that I'm rich. Far from it. I am so crazy broke. YouTube has shut me down insanely. Crod7435, how's everything? Italy, is it safe out there? Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few people counting money out of wallets around Venice. There seems to be an issue with theft, but there doesn't seem to be an issue with assault as much. Everything closes really early as well. But yeah, Italy's fine. There's some issues. I saw like there'd be more issues to worry about in the bigger cities that aren't just waterways and stuff. Like this place is so filled with tourists almost all the time that it's hard to get away with doing anything you shouldn't. Again, last night I walked around San Marcos Square by myself, and it was like this place has been filled with tourists for 1,000 years, just thousands of people all the time. And I walked through there and it was empty, and it was an amazing thing to see. I posted on my Facebook story. Let's see. Leanne says, do you think Jeffrey Epstein got killed in prison by his wealthy friends that participated with him before trial? I think he was an agent. I don't know what happened. I have some connections with people in the jail, and they have assured me that there's cameras watching all of the cells. So the very notion of it not being caught on camera is ridiculous, suicide watch or not. And could he still be alive? Possibly. But also, the government likes killing people, and they also like killing their own when it comes to them being disposable and exposed. It's hard to say. I mean, maybe he was like it was beyond the media's ability to hold it back, and he did get exposed, or maybe he was allowed to be exposed. There's a whole lot of psychological warfare going on, and I think the question is, what are we doing about it? That's what the establishment wants to know. Jeffrey Epstein, dead or not, whatever. The notion of him committing suicide, while possible, is unlikely, highly unlikely. And they know that people realize that. They had to make a decision whether to hit the red button for that. But the question is not, will people freak out over it? It's, what are they going to do about it, you know? Anyway, let's see. We got more comments coming in. Jeff Berwick, what's the humidity and weather like? Shut up, dog vigilante. Come on. How's your time in Greece posing in Speedos? Like anyone wants to see that, dude. Humidity is around between 90 and 95%. But yeah, it was nice earlier. There's some clouds. It allowed us to not die immediately. But, oh my God. Have you ever seen a 50-year-old man, Jeff, just posing in Speedos all the time and posting them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and then talking about not to take yourself so seriously and to relax? Then he's posting pictures of himself in Speedos all day. Like, come on. Anyway. Jeff Berwick, the dog vigilante, chimes in once again with his smart-ass comments. Eliza Jean Williams says, Hearst killed hemp industry in favor of cutting down trees and going to war for oil. Yeah, and creating problem reaction solution as well. I mean, they killed the hemp industry, all these alternatives to the fossil fuel industry, and then on top of that, now all these years later, after monopolizing Standard Oil and all these major oil companies, they come back and say, oh, well, we'll legalize hemp, but we'll take all these profits, extort people for it, and then ban straws and push carbon taxes in all these countries. It's all ways for the government to crack down further on people's free will, and they do it over such a long period of time that everyone forgets what happened. And the news cycle is like that. It's going to be, how long will Epstein be in the news? Don't allow this to go away. How long will Epstein be in the news before they cover it up with something else? What about Julian Assange? What happened with that? Remember the Vegas shooting, biggest shooting they claimed in U.S. history? What happened to that? That was gone like within a week of it happening. Anyone, let's see, remember Chris Dorner? Remember when that happened? Former cop, kills cops, gets burned, allegedly in a cabin, burned to death, set on fire in the woods, even though his passport was found in 2 different countries at the same time. Weird that he had 2 passports. No one talks about that anymore. So anyway, more examples of the media swaying us away from the truth and trying to keep us in a pattern of subservience. Hey, for those just tuning in, make sure to press like on the video. Keeps us alive and allows us to be caught up in the algorithm. MS says, if everything you do gets blocked, how do you finance everything that you do? I don't know what you mean. Like, if everything, I depend on people supporting our media and contributing. I depend on, crypto alternatives and stuff like that. and the tiny amount of monetization I get. But again, if you're not working a job where you have to be at a certain place, you're able to work from anywhere. And again, it's often cheaper to be moving than to stay in the same place. So that's important to note. But anyway, funding what I do is based on just what people can help us out with as we go to all these places. But for example, like I mentioned, in Italy here, not a cent of donation money has been spent on this. This has been a combination of saving up at the same time as utilizing certain technology that we may or may not have lost in a boating accident. So anyway, with that said, I think I do have to start signing out soon because I'm getting a little bit dizzy. We've been walking around the sun nonstop with crazy humidity and just getting knocked out by it. And honestly, it's starting to kill me. I got like another month of this almost. We'll be in Florence, Italy, and Rome as well. I got some reports on both Florence and Rome I'm working on. Then we'll be in Spain and France. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's so much to do on multiple subjects, from ancient civilizations to economics to politics, and there's potential civil wars about to break out in a lot of these places. A lot of crazy stuff is happening. Then we'll be in Philadelphia for Anarchadelphia 2019. Make sure to use promo code WAM, WAM, and join us there. I save 5% on your tickets. And on top of that, we will be going to Turkey. A really awesome person has helped, has been a donor for us and bringing us to Turkey and allowing us to report on stories on the ground in Turkey. That's going to be huge. We're going to be reporting on a lot of ancient sites, including Göbekli Tepe, as well as I want to go to Derinkuyu and a few other places. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Turkey is an incredible country and so historic. So we'll be reporting on things from many different angles over the next while, and it's honestly it's amazing to be able to do this kind of stuff. It is truly a dream come true. News Now Central Oregon says, when can you interview Rand Paul? I've been trying for years, no response. Lightning Rod is here in Thunder Bay, pulp and paper. Oh my goodness, I was just in Thunder Bay a month and a half ago. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, Chakra Tees says, that's an interesting name. Says, drink tons of water. Doing my best on that. Only you cannot drink enough water here. It's impossible. Rika the Hopeful Voluntress, white Canadian boy, can't take the sun. I used to do labor construction before I started with WAM, and it's amazing how fast you lose your ability to be used to something like that. I mean, it's amazing that the sun gives us life and water gives us life, but the sun can take our life and water can take our life. It's amazing the ironies of life there that you can bring into it. Yvonne Nutter says heat stroke. Yeah, it feels like it. Let's see. You got a couple comments coming in. Bamboo says you're making me nauseous. Stop it. Well, listen and don't watch then. I don't know. There's not much to look at here anyway. Let's see. AM83330 says get some sleep, dude. Sleep is not something I've gotten a lot of since I've been in Italy or Germany or whatever. Leanne says you're a cutie pie. Well, thank you. I don't see that, but always happy to get the compliments. Marika the Hopeful Volunteer, sorry, Josh, I was pseudo trolling you. Please forgive me. I'll never forgive you. Never. Even though you watch like every one of my videos. So for that, I thank you. Socrates says, wanted to say the cameras were cut off for 10 minutes when Epstein disappeared. There's been some claims about that. It hasn't been substantiated, but I have talked to connections in that person. I can't really say a whole lot about it yet, but I've gotten lots of confirmations that there were cameras pointed at all those areas. And the notion of it not being caught on camera you'd have to assume they either took them down for that day or they malfunctioned or they just shut them off, you know. Crowd 7435, how is Turkey a good country? That place has a lot of terrorist attacks. It really doesn't. I mean, and it depends what you consider a terrorist attack, but it really doesn't. The crime rates are actually dramatically low compared to the United States. So, murder, theft, rape, general attacks, crime, way down compared to the United States. Anyway, I got 63 people of 131,000 people watching. I appreciate the people who have actually been able to get around the algo on Facebook or on YouTube rather, and I've actually seen the notifications and saw the live stream. For that, I thank you for watching. Make sure to press like if you haven't already. It's great to talk to everyone and reach out while I'm here. I know it's really early in for most of the viewers watching. So I thank you for signing in really early. If you're in Europe or another part of the world, Australia, etc., good afternoon and good evening. And hi from Bulgaria, says Sky Trekker. Hello to you as well. So you're not too far off from where I am. Early or late afternoon, early evening. It's hard to keep up. Every time I want to post a video, it's like nighttime in the United States. So I got to wait till like midday to post or nighttime here. It's a little bit unfortunate. But because like most of Wham's viewers are in that area. So anyway, I don't know what else to add to any of this. And I'm not adding any substance to this right now. So I'm going to take off. I really appreciate everyone watching. Unfortunately, we had to do most of this from my hotel room because YouTube decided that even though we have really good Wi-Fi connection, that being in a square next to all the beautiful bridges was not what they wanted out of my YouTube video. And at the same time, Facebook has banned us from sharing Wham videos on the Wham page, Wham group, and on my profile page on Facebook. So there's that. So make sure to share our videos around, press like, and do whatever you can because it's the only way we're going to reach anybody today as we are heavily shadow banned, demonetized, and censored. It's getting crazy, but there's always other options. BitChute, World Alternative Media on BitChute, as well as flote.app, flote.app. Make sure to check us out there at Wham and at Josh Sigurdson. I thank everyone for tuning in. We've got lots more videos on the way. I recorded one earlier, and we're going to get it up as soon as possible. And I thank everyone for all the support. It means a lot to us. You guys are the change you wish to see, and you're making it possible for us to win this information war. Anyway, until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.